hope you enjoyed that cinematic intro. Let us know if you want to see more of that. That's my dead shoulder. I've been waiting 9 whole years to see what Graco was going to come up with re-releasing their range of Ultra sprayers. And for those who have come to know, love, and even use these sprayers, Graco's Ultra range has been their entry-level professional airless paint sprayers for a long time. The 390 PC, for example, hasn't seen an update in those whole 9 years. So we're here in 2025. We've seen the release of the Ultra XTs last year. We've got another video on that. And they've brought across some of the magic that we've seen in that new range back into their core entry-level range. So today we're going to be running through who this new Ultra range is for, what's in the lineup, what do these do, and some of the key features that you should know and care about, how I think it's going to improve your painting business, your airless spraying experience, and my personal opinion on whether this is worth the upgrade from what you already have, or is it a straight up pass? Let's dive into the video. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so we can keep making videos like this and putting some good info out there about airless spraying in general. Let's lock in. So as I said, why fix something that isn't broke? The Ultra range has been known for so long for being reliable, simple, bulletproof. It'll get a job done and it will get it done in a way that's just straightforward. So what Graco's done is they've essentially made every unit lighter, more powerful, and more capable than ever. These new Ultras, starting from the Ultra 390 to the 395 and to the new 450, which is a bit of a weird addition that I think, but it's pretty cool, brings this new format of all brushless motors across the range. They've shaved off weight dramatically. And in the Showdown, a bit later in the video, you can see the comparison between the weights of each of these models. Entry-level airless units in the professional range like this are for painter and decorators who have left a crew and you're going out on your own and you need to make your first investment in something that's going to last you the first 5 years before upgrading. It's going to be able to spray an interior of a home, an exterior, all your woodwork, trim, doors, everything in between, and be able to put up with that workload week in, week out. If you're also a pro renovator, house flipper, builder, carpenter, any professional trade or semi-professional trade, and you're looking into getting into airless paint spraying, this is the format that you want to stick with to start off with. Straight off the bat, my personal opinion, I've been playing with Graco gear for about 8 years now. Bit of an addiction for me. Straight away I've noticed this whole new format. It's a lot smaller, a lot more compact, lighter, with the addition of the new brushless motor. And Graco's put a lot of time and effort into getting this footprint right for travel. It's exciting to see a facelift like this. I'm excited to get it in some paint, and we've got some videos coming up very soon of this in action on the field, and we'll continue to tell us about our thoughts and our experiences, as well as some of the customers we work really closely with. I want to go through some key overarching features that I think are the most exciting additions for these Ultras. First and foremost, they've shaved the weight down dramatically. You can skip ahead and look at our Showdown between all the different models to see how light they are. This 390 stand is only 12.2 kilos. And for a skinny guy like me, that makes it a lot easier to lift in and out of my ute, up and down stairs, in and out of apartments and smaller jobs like that. You can last 10 times longer with the new Vortex Endurance piston pump. Real simple, what that is instead of the piston stroking up and down in one direction, generating heat and over time warping those pump packings, it actually rotates as it strokes. So it gives you 10 times more life between your services. So the cost of ownership of these units is a lot less. They're off our service workbench a lot less, saving you money, giving you more time on the job to actually get stuff done. You can also buy a spare pump with the same ProConnect technology with minimal tools, rip one pump out, put a new one in. That's pretty cool. One of the other biggest additions that's going to change the way you spray and performance is the brushless motor. So the 190 PC, the Ultra 390 PC, 395 PC of the existing generation all had brushed motors. They're pretty good, not bad, but in terms of servicing, we had to replace brushes quite often. They would also contribute towards pulsation when you're spraying, and they're just not the most efficient style of motor to drive the pump. So with the new brushless motors, they've shaved the weight down. It's a lot more responsive. You'll find less dead bands and pressure when you're spraying, which more consistent spray results, less pressure drop, tick, tick, you're gonna get a better finish. We also have the addition of Graco's Advantage Drive hardened steel gearing, which come with a lifetime warranty. All these Ultras and the Ultra XTs are all still made in the States out of Graco's mega factory in Minnesota. I want to get across there next year, so hopefully we can do a cool video series on that. But that's besides the point, let's keep moving on. We also have on all the sprayers a manifold filter, which they call their Easy Out filter standard. So this is another line and a point of filtration in your system, which is going to pick up any sediment or paint skins before it hits your spray gun, which is a big positive. We'll go through what comes in the box in a second. There's a few huge feature differences that really set apart the 390 to the 395 to the 450. So to simplify those big features and what they actually mean for you as a professional painter or someone who wants to get into spraying, is that it'll be easier to carry the thing around. It's going to spray and perform a lot better. You're going to have less issues when it comes to ongoing maintenance and preventing that maintenance, which does come at a cost. So the thing that a lot of people miss is actually calculating how much the asset is going to, one, make you back, and two, what it's going to cost over time. So things like this Vortex piston pump make a huge difference when you're looking at running a business profitably, or you're just after those really unreal spray results. Given it's Graco's professional range, it's all built professionally, all made in the States with high quality components. Graco's really clever in sharing a lot of similar parts across multiple models. So again, if you're running a small crew and you want to buy a few different models at different price points to suit your jobs, you can do so. You can pick up a 390 for your small repaints, interiors, or you could pick up a 450 for a full external repaint. They both share the same pump, they both share very similar parts, but there's a few key differences that make them special in their own way. So without further ado, let's go into the technical deep dive. If you want to skip this bit and get towards the end where I share my honest opinion about who should buy which model, that'll all be in the timeline below. So the new Ultra 390. The 390 PC, its predecessor, is one of our best-selling airless sprayers. And it's because it's ideal for, again, someone who's looking into getting into more paint spraying in general, someone who doesn't need all the bells and whistles and just wants a simple, bulletproof, easy to use, pretty mechanical unit to get the job done. The 390 lacks a digital display. It doesn't have a smart control, which is the computer that tells the motor when to spin the pump. It doesn't have any of those extra features, but you also won't know that you need it, because if you're just starting in this whole spraying field, you need to get your head around how these things work. The Ultra 390, and I'll put it out there, you can mark my words, is the ideal machine if you're getting started. I would recommend this over anything at the price point it's at. It's a really good pickup. It's got the same pump that's on even the Ultra 495 XT, which is thousands and thousands of dollars more expensive. So what are the other big differences over the last generation? You go from a brushed to a brushless motor, shaves the weight down to 12.2 kilos for the 390 stand. You have the new Advantage Drive hardened steel gears. Again, lifetime warranty on this gear section. You've got the addition, and it already did have a manifold filter. You've got your pressure dial at the back, which has got some really handy decals on there to show where you're sitting pressure-wise. So the 390 comes standard with the FTX contractor gun, which is a 4-finger manual gun. It also comes with an LP 517, which is ideal for interior walls, ceilings, exteriors as well. Graco's pushing their entry-level units and tradesmen to low-pressure tips. It's because they only require half the working pressure. They atomize paint really nicely, less overspray, also puts less stress and wear on your pump and your motor. So it's definitely the way to go. The FTX gun is super reliable. It has an older style contractor pin system that needs to be replaced after like 18 months of use, but it's still a really good professional handpiece. You also get in the box a 1/4 inch by 15 meter, or for us Americans out there, 50 feet worth of airless hose. Every spray you buy comes in the box with the gun, comes in the box with the right power cable for your region. These are 240 volt motors for us in Australia, and comes with your hose. So everything in the box to get started. Go industrial, we go a step further. We also like to include our spray more kit, which comes with a couple of extra tips, tip extension and pump armor, which I think is necessary for everyone. So that's what you get with the 390. Let's dive into some nerdy specs on this unit so you know what we're up for. The 390 is retailing in Australia for $2,965, including GST. That is the launch price, that is Graco set price, and we'll see what happens with pricing over time. I think that's pretty good for this day and age, considering the amount of specs and technology that you get with a professional entry-level unit like this. It's definitely an awesome unit to invest in. Value for money, cost of ownership being low, and what you can make in return on a sprayer like this, I think is definitely worthy of the investment if you're going out on your own or you want a professional unit but entry level. Specs, you've got a max size of a 21 thou tip. So lining that up with paint terms, you'll be able to spray stains, lacquers, interior acrylics, undercoats, exterior acrylics, oil-based enamels, water-based enamels, oil-based undercoats, oil-based acrylics, everything all the way up to, in my opinion, a less thick roofing membrane. The 390, and this is a question I get all the time, can this little thing spray roofing membrane? Technically yes, you can get away with a job or two per year. But when it comes to spraying a roofing membrane or a roof coating, they're really thick. You're pushing that 30 meters up a roof. You're really gonna struggle with having a unit that's got a big enough pump and a big enough motor. So the 390 will handle all your common paint applications for residential and light commercial work. You've got a maximum flow rate of 1.8 litres. You also have a total weight of 12.2 kilos, and you have a maximum working pressure of 3,300 PSI. Every single unit will have the same working pressure of 3,300 PSI for a reason. In this world, you do not need to exceed 3,300 PSI when spraying architectural coatings that are used for interiors and exteriors. Doesn't need to happen. Especially with low pressure tips, you're going to be staying below that 3,000 range where possible. Flow rate, on the other hand, does matter. 1.8 litres a minute for an entry-level unit like this is perfect. You will not run any more than 30 or 45 metres worth of hose for your job, and if you are, this may not be the right unit for you. Your flow rate is all about how much paint can you get to the gun per minute and how quickly. If you're wanting to extend your hose out or use any thicker types of coatings, your flow rate will have to increase. If the paint is thicker, so will your tip size. It's a relationship with each other. Flow rate, pressure, as well as your tip size all go together. So the 390, as I said, will have you set for all your architectural coatings, no worries. So what does the 390 come in? It comes in the stand. It also comes in a highboy cart, which is the exact same setup and internals, except you get it on a cart, sits taller with some wheels. And I'll get Sean to drop in a photo so you can see what that looks like. That cart is an extra $350. It's got the same performance, same specs, it's just the orientation's different. I find a lot of people like to wrap up that 15 meters worth of hose at the top of the cart, which is the main benefit. It's also easier to lug around on site if you don't want to lift this up. But at 12 and a bit kilos, it's not that much of an issue anymore. So let's swap out the 390, let's swap in the 395. And I want to try and justify to you, is spending an extra $1,611 worth it or not? We're about to find out. So what does $4,576 inclusive of GST get you with the upgraded 395? Now the 395 typically has been a pretty popular model for the most part. It's also, weirdly, the heaviest stand model that we had in the lineup. It weighed something like 20 to 21 kilos, which for me, I felt every kilogram of it, even getting it up into the studio. Again, it's received a facelift. It's got the same new Vortex pump that the 390 has the manifold filter, has the Advantage Drive hardened gearing, has a new brushless motor, and we jump up a size incrementally in motor output, which we go to a 1.1 horsepower motor, which ups our flow rate to 2 litres a minute. The other big addition is what we call Smart Control. Now, a lot of people think Smart Control is just the digital display that reads out your pressure. That is not the case. Smart Control is the brains that Graco have developed to tell the motor when to drive the gears, when to drive the pump, to also read the flow rate of the spray tip you've selected to get a beautiful, harmonious thing happening and spray that paint as best as possible with pretty much no pressure drop. So why does pressure drop or pulsation matter when you're spraying? It will affect your final coat of paint. When we're spraying with a small tip, we're glossing outdoors or doing woodwork and trim, any pulsation that occurs when you're spraying will cause the fan to spurt out and come back in again, which is going to ruin your job. So when you invest further and further up the range of Graco sprayers, Graco starts to put in some smarts around how that all works to try and get that pressure holding and set as much as possible. That's what the extra money gets you with the 395. Bigger motor, you also get the inclusion of smart control. Whether that's worth the investment for you is personal opinion, and who's the 395 for? It's for an experienced spray applicator that knows that the pulsation issues in the 390, even though it's not that bad, is affecting their type of finishing. So if you're doing high-end interior finishing, it could be new construction work, it could be repaints, and you know every time you're spraying that door that your fan's being affected, I would definitely recommend investing in either the 395 or the 450 or higher up into the XT range. So we've got a 13 kilo stand, same max pressure, 3,300 PSI. Again, we jump up to 2 litres a minute versus the 1.8 litres a minute that's on the 390. We have a max tip size that creeps up a bit to 23 thou. So as I said again, the extra flow rate is going to help with running longer hoses. If you're spraying thicker paints, the 395 is going to do it incrementally better, but not drastically better. It's up to you whether that Smart Control Edition is worth it or not. It is a little bit of money. And as I said, my opinion, if you're starting out and you haven't got something as new and beaut as this, I would probably go with the 390 to start off with, become the expert at spraying, start to understand the true deeper pain points, and then once you realize you're experiencing them, pay a little bit more to fix them as you need. So what do you get in the box with the Ultra 395? Instead of the FTX contractor, you get the contractor PC, which is the newest, greatest gun from Graco. You've got a Pro Connect quick change cartridge, 0 tools to take that out and put a new needle in, 70 bucks for a full needle replacement. It's the bee's knees, it's what I'd recommend. You also get the low pressure 517 tip, so the same as the other unit, and you get a 15 meter hose. So pretty similar. You get an upgrade on the handpiece, which helps by paying that little bit of extra monies. All right, let's swap the 395 out. I want to bring a 450 on the table because that is brand new to me, and I want to know why we're jumping up in price again. So this is the brand new 450, and it was a bit jarring at first when they said, hey, there's a 450 coming out, because I'm so used to jumping from a 395 to a 490 to a 495. Graco has agreed that there's a few too many models in the range that are all too similar. So they've made some pretty significant changes to make it a lot easier for you to digest and know if this is the right thing for you. So we're jumping up on some different features from the 395 to the next level. We're paying $5,060 including GST retail price on the 450 at launch. What does that buy you? We've got a bigger motor, still brushless, still pretty lightweight, the same advantage, hardened gears, and the same vortex pump. We've also got the same strainer and all the bits and pieces, as well as the manifold filter that comes with the rest of the units. The big difference is we've got a few new bits and pieces. We have a digital display on top of the smart control. So again, helping you spray to the absolute best you can with minimal pressure drop. The digital display is an LCD screen. It's giving you eyeball sight on where you're sitting pressure-wise, where you should be, which is pretty fun. But really what comes into this is the ability for watchdog pump protection and fast flush. And I'll spin this around. The 450, and what makes it special is you've got the LCD display screen, which you can clearly see what pressure you're sitting at. We have the addition of the fast flush mode, which you can see there on the pressure dial. Is you click it down to its own little position. Fast flush is a underrated, goated feature in my opinion. If you're spraying 2-3 more times a week, cleaning becomes a costly, time-consuming task. Fast flush pushes your unit to the absolute limit without damaging the motor, gearing, or pump. Saving time on your job site will save you money. So weigh that up if you're looking between the 395 and the 450, is do you value your time? I value my time. So you might as well spend a little bit more to get fast flush. Second to that is another really slept on feature, which is called watchdog pump protection. Every XT model now has this, and now the 450 Ultra has it as well. This feature will cut off the pump if you run out of paint. To me, having done a lot of service and maintenance on these airless sprays over time, is absolutely priceless. We often see pump packings melted. We often see a lot of wear in pumps because guys don't realize they're running out of paint. They're running dry because there's no fluid in that pump and they're just working them way too hard. So Watchdog fixes all of that. It's a really cool feature. Cuts out as soon as you run out of paint. It's an insurance that you should pay for, and it's going to save you in the long term in terms of reduced maintenance. We've got the same 23 thou max tip size as the 395. We have the same 1.1 horsepower brushless motor as the 395, and we also have the same weight, which is 13 kilos. So scratch what I said before about this being a slightly bigger motor. I'm sorry, it's actually the same size. So to sum it up, why would you buy this? You're paying a little bit extra for that watchdog pump protection to protect you from when you run out of paint, and you're paying for that fast flush feature to get you off the job site quicker, get the machine more thoroughly cleaned from time to time, and you're getting that really handy LCD display to see what pressure you're sitting at. Is it worth the upgrade? In my opinion, if you're not going to then go for the 490 XT, yes. I feel like there's a bigger difference here between the 390 Ultra and the 450. The 395 in the middle is a bit of a hard one to justify. You'd almost rather spend that little bit more and get those couple of extra features which make a big difference on every job. Again, you'll only realize these pain points if you're painting frequently, if you're really looking into the nitty-gritty of how that spray fan is producing for your jobs, and you're investing in something that ultimately you're going to be using every week or so, that's making you a return. So that's the lowdown on the new Graco Ultra professional entry-level range of airless paint sprays. My tea is now cold, which means that we're at the end. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe to stay in the loop with more videos like this. Last but not least, we'll give ourselves here at Go Industrial a bit of a plug. If you're looking to grab any of these new Ultra units, any Graco equipment, getting it serviced, parts, all the bits and pieces, we really get behind it here in Australia and New Zealand. We'll give you that one-on-one time, and we really care about every single person who comes in and out of our store, buys online, or who we visit on site for demos and setup training. If you want to find out more, leave a comment below, give us a call, send us a text. You can also hit us up on any of our social media channels, and we're always more than happy to help. So have a fantastic evening. I'm getting out of here. Bye.